16th? 16th. 16th meeting of the Lake Forest Parks and Recreation Commission to order, and let the record indicate that all commissioners are present with the exception of Commissioner Barras, who is missing in action somewhere. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and before I ask Vice Chair Herron to lead us in it, I would like to ask that we just take a second or two of silence to remember what happened in our country this last Sunday and what this country is still all about when we pledge allegiance to our flag. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Yeah, got the indivisible part. Okay, thank you. Moving on, who's going to get up and give us the presentation from the teen group? My questions are coming up. What has happened to the men folk of the group? Have you guys done them in, or? Summer's coming, right? Yeah.
Well, it's the last day of school today, so I suspect there's events.
What? Oh.
Is it? There you go.
Okay. Hello, my name is Sherry Sue, and it is a pleasure to be here representing Lake Forest Advisory Committees for Teens. I'm here to update the Parks and Recreation Commission about what ACT has been working on this past month. We volunteered at the movie in the park this past weekend and ran the snack station. We also volunteered at Dino Days and ran the craft station and game booth. We assisted more than 1,500 people each day of the event at our game booth and craft station. We continue working on our Earth Day initiatives to clean up the sports park once a month during one of our meetings. We intend to volunteer at the upcoming concert in the park and look forward to seeing you at the upcoming summer special event. Thank you for your time.
All right, moving on to our minutes of last month's May meeting. Any questions, comments, corrections, deletions? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second. Okay, everybody hit their buttons, please. Nothing. Should we try again? Technology.
No, hold on. Let me try again. We'll reset. Now go ahead and try again. It's not displaying. Okay. It's not displaying, but it's unanimous.
Okay, good.
I don't know why it's not
And
displaying.
if you dissented, yes, you weren't here last time. You were
Displaying.
serving our country.
It was working earlier.
Were you able to hit the side of the barn when you shot? Okay.
Oh,
good.
wait.
Good. All right, moving on to item 3, our discussion of our May recreation report.
Chair and Commission, Laura and I will both be giving the rec report tonight. Highlights for the month of May include the AARP Tax Age-Free Tax Help. Once again, very popular program. This year we had 253 taxpayers take part in the program, with 206 of those being Lake Forest residents. That program is always very popular. And it seems that each year we get more and more participants. I'm pretty sure that this year all of the sessions, time slots they had offered were taken. So it's great to be able to offer that service. We have a new computer and printer in the computer lab, and that really made the process much more, much quicker. Yeah. The creek cleanup was the 9th annual one, and there were 63 participants for this creek cleanup this time around. For the first time, we had Lake Forest Old Navy, an organization, come out and help with it, which was really nice to see. I think we've had them come and help, maybe not them in particular, but other groups like that come to help with the one by the skate park, but I don't think they've come to this one in particular. According to Nick, they got the most amount of trash that they've had for one of those, and they had 2 garbage bins full with debris. Yeah. As we continue to work with the special needs population in those programs, another highlight would be the Special Needs Autism Seminar at the Lake Forest Recreation Center. So the city worked with Autism Therapies to offer a free seminar from 7 to 9 p.m. at the sports park. And they were a local group that was giving caregivers ideas and strategies about how to work with autism patients and their difficult activities that they can be involved with and their difficult behaviors. So this is the first time we've done something like this, and we're going to continue to do these things again. They had 10 registrants. I thought they only had 7, so they had more than I thought, which is great. Highlight for summer, again, is our summer registration for programs. The revenue so far is approximately $160,000. All new highlight for us for summer registration. And one of the best things that happened this time around is our summer camp program. All of our summer camps have sold out. So last year we always had Lake Forest Rock sold out, or the Little Pioneer sold out. But this time the team camp sold out as well, which was great. So that's an all-new highlight for us. And then my last highlight for the month of May was at the skate park. We had a Memorial Day weekend camp, the first time we've had that, and there were 11 participants, so that sold out as well. So that's my report. I'll be happy to answer questions for you. If you don't have any, then Ms. Laura will be next.
I have one question related to the ARP tax-free.
Yes.
thing. Tax preparation is a term that can imply a million things. How much do they really do for the seniors?
Oh, it's 100% to the point where they sign and you can send it in.
You know, they totally prepare the return for them?
Yes, and these are prepared. The preparations they do are not for any. They're pretty much the standard preparation. It's not, if you have, you rental properties or anything like that, they don't help you with that.
But
it's
still, that's marvelous.
Yeah.
That's absolutely marvelous.
That's why they need to
people.
use a computer lab, because they do all the paperwork for them, and it's confidential, and then to the point of them signing it and sending it away.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was more like the advice and
No.
this, but to actually do
It's
that group
went
is,
like H&R Block, basically. Yeah.
that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's kudos for doing that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, in regards to the registration for the summer rec program, I'm very, this is wonderful, but I wanted to say, when I was at the open house at the sports park, it was so nice because you had everything showing up on the screen and explaining it, but it was like, sold out,
Yes.
sold out, and I'm like, well, what good is that?
Part of the reason I think we've been so successful, and we have, Vicki sort of stolen my thunder. I was going to talk about this in the director's report. But part of the reason our registration is up is we have about 70% of our registrations are done online, so we've made it so convenient and easy for people to register and pay. Vicki was a driving force behind that. Vicki's also been working to set up points of sale at the sports park, City Hall, and skate park so that we can accept credit card payments there. Right now, we're doing credit cards at Etnies Skate Park, sort of as a trial basis to work out all of the bugs before we move it to to Sports Park and City Hall. So, but that's, I think, one of the reasons that registration is up. We've made it a little more convenient.
And the majority of registration is done online now. So it's, I think that people really appreciate that fact. And I think that also they're realizing that our camp programs are really a good bang for your buck. And we have a great staff. I mean, they really enjoy working with the kids. So the last part of that, too, is to have a camp for teens. We've all had teenagers. My youngest is now 16. If I had been able to have a camp for them that they would have wanted to go to when they were that age group, I would have sent them to a camp. Mm-hmm. But there's not very many cities that offer for that age group. So that's, I think it really does go hand in hand with the Teen Lounge program. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I was going to actually talk about the open house on May 21st. One of the reasons, too, that we did sell out with all of our camps is that we had our open registration, which started May 10th. So next year, when we do reconsider doing another open house, we will probably preview it prior to registration starting, so that way we'll give some opportunities to the people that haven't seen our programs before and they're able to register prior to the open date of registration. So we were really successful with the first date of registration on May 10th, May 11th. Moving into the open house, we didn't have many opportunities for them to fulfill, but hopefully they'll find those next year. We had about 200 individuals that attended the open house, so that was great. One of the highlights of the open house, I think, was having El Toro High School, the jazz ensemble. Mm-hmm. It was nice background, if nothing more. It was a little windy out there, so we kind of had a few blowaways, but it was nice music just for people to be able to walk around the park, see something that they probably haven't seen before. We had, like Loretta was saying, we had a preview of each individual camp, so that was nice, along with the sports academy and the gymnasium. We were definitely ready for a bigger crowd, but I think the day was too nice. Everybody seemed to be out at other activities, but we were thrilled to have the 200. Also wanted to talk a little bit about Kids Factory. Although Kids Factory's last day was June 10th, May was kind of their last big month to do their activities, highlighting Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is always one of the favorite activities, especially at certain schools that have more of the population that would do more of the do-it-yourself crafts, like making their own maracas and the different, they would have like different parties and different crafts and all centered around, really centered around Cinco de Mayo. So that was always a really good time for them. But wanted to get into what's coming up because we have so many different activities heading our way. June 17th, which is tomorrow, I believe, we have the skate park band night, so that's going to be the first band night. It's a punk group. I know you guys will all be there. Saturday is the softball tournament for the 25th anniversary. It's one of our highlighted activities for 25th anniversary for the year. So if you can get out there, we have 11 teams that are going to be competing. So that's really good. It's starting, the first game's at 9 a.m. and it'll go to about 7 p.m. will be the championship game. So if you can make it out there, it'll be a great time for everybody. It's a co-ed tournament, so men and women will be participating. June 26th is our first summer concert, so we're looking forward to that. Mick Adams and the Stones, and that's going to be at the sports park as well. That's a Sunday evening, and then, of course, without going to the whole calendar, our favorite 4th of July parade will be coming up on Monday, the 4th of July. And the rest, follows with the furthermore of more concerts, more movies in the park, game night, things like that. Any questions? No?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
We move along in record speed here. I guess time for our director's report. Well, it's nice staff can go home without working a 14-hour day for the first time in 3 weeks or something like that. Right. Oh. Yeah. True. Amen. Our director's report, Scott?
Just briefly, Portola Park, Council awarded the contract for final design on May 17th. So we've started that process. And we're hoping that the final design, we're expecting that it'll be done by about December, at which time we would take it back to the City Council for final approval, and then the Council would authorize us to bid out the creation of the park for construction. So it's an exciting time. I think that Vicki and Laura stole all of my thunder with respect to the summer, but It's been a great summer, and it's been, you of course know that we do a year-end report probably closer to September, but it's just been an amazing year. I mean, attendance is up, revenue is up, revenue's over, it's likely over $700,000 this year. And this year we optimistically projected that we would have revenue of $550,000, and we were a little nervous about whether we'd make that, but it's just been a great year. That is all I have.
I have a question. Can we comment? You mentioned the revenue of $750,000. Is that tagged for specific things within the community services, or does that go into the general fund?
Goes into the general fund.
Any way you want to rethink that?
No, it's just general finance accounting principles that the city just takes all of the revenue, whether it's from recreation or from the sale of new homes. It all goes into the general fund, and then through the budgeting process, the city council decides what they want to do.
I was thinking that perhaps you should go back into the programs or activities when you generate that kind of revenue.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
To
understand.
go back into supporting the programs.
I think that we probably have what I call a big ask coming when the Civic Center is built, and we have a new senior center. The Civic Center will be used for meeting rooms and conference center. In addition to the growth in other programs, I think that you'll see our programs grow. Plus, we have the neighborhood park improvement plan coming up, where we're studying all the parks to determine how we should renovate them. So we probably do have a lot of growth around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, good suggestion.
Okay. Commissioner comments, Commissioner Scher?
Thank you. I, too, was at the opening early, so I had a chance to visit with the staff before they get heavily involved. I like to come by early for that purpose, and had some very good conversations with the staff there, and I was very impressed, as I've always been, with the quality of your folks to run these programs and get them organized, because that's where your success is, in the quality of the people. So I was quite impressed, and I can see where those programs have been quite successful. My major comment, and I've been doing quite a bit of research into this, and I feel passionate about it, being a veteran myself, along with the two of us, is to take a look at veteran recreational program philosophy within the city. By that I mean in recognizing the needs of the military and those who have military-connected disabilities. It's a unique group that have specific needs for the type of recreational programs that can be offered through the city Parks and Rec. And what I'm proposing is that you consider evaluating, if you were to offer programs for the military veteran, what kinds of programs would it be, and what would make sense, whether it be a Veterans Day kind of thing, or specific physical activities, and even specialized activities for those who have service-connected disabilities. In my research, there is an organization called the R4 Alliance. I'm not sure if you're familiar or not with it, but it's a nonprofit organization that works with organizations to develop philosophy, strategies, and direction of the types of programs that could be implemented within the city Parks and Rec kind of environment. There are cities who are actively participating in those type of alliances, all the way from developing military sports camp type of programs, developing specific athletic programs tailored to the veterans, specific recognition within the community to acknowledge their service. I feel strongly that I believe that this is an area that could be explored very productive in a productive way, whereby, in addition to all the other programs for the general population of the city of Lake Forest, is to offer specific oriented programs tailored to the military veterans of the men and women who have unique requirements and unique interests that we can address. One city comes to mind. The city of Reno has implemented this, working with the R4 Alliance, and there's information on the website that I can provide you under r4alliance.org is their site to provide more insights into what they're doing. And the city of Chula Vista has put together kind of some unique programs to give some ideas of what can happen. For example, they have a military remembrance walk, similar to when you go to Disneyland, you'll see those little bricks that are inscribed to recognize the veterans, and the profits from those go direct into supporting the programs rather than the general fund. I know that's possible, but normally they have you can have a nonprofit organization maybe to partner with the city to run that program called maybe Friends of the City of Lake Forest, Parks and Rec, or whatever you want to call it. But that's my message that I feel perhaps would get some traction within the city to take a look at that. Thank you.
Vice Chair?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I had the privilege, and just tell you everything I went to so you know. The Lake Forest Sports Park open house, I thought it was great. Our little jazz ensemble, they were actually, I think, freshmen and sophomore. Yeah, that were not going to the prom. That's why, because that was prom night for them. And I did have a chance to talk to their new director, is that what they call them? Conduct, whatever. And I said, you need signage. You need to promote how great these, the high school is and all these great musicians you're pumping out. So I was trying to get some seeds planted in his head for promoting his, his stuff, like the showboat, or not the showboaters, the singing group over at El Toro. Coralistics. I mean, they're known because they've already promoted themselves, so the band needs to get on board. That's what I was trying to encourage him to do, and I think if we can support that, that would be wonderful. Let's see. I also I helped at the Tustin Chili Cook-Off. Naping neighborly with Tustin. I got to be a salsa judge, so that was something new that they've incorporated into that. So I'm spreading our generosity over. I thought the Jurassic Park movie was a good idea because then the next day was Dino Days. I hadn't seen Jurassic the movie until, since it first came out. I don't know how many years ago. So it was a good refresher. And then when I went to Dino Days, I'm like, oh, that's why they have that dinosaur. Oh, now I understand that better. And but unfortunately, that park is not the best for movie viewing. And I think everybody figured that out. But I did want to comment on what wonderful people we have in Lake Forest. I'm sitting next to total strangers. We're sharing snacks, and then because I parked up on top, and then as I'm hobbling up the stairs, people are behind me like, hey, let me carry your, thing for you. And I'm like, well, I don't even know you. Okay. So I'm just saying.
Was your wallet in when you got it back?
No, I didn't have my wallet.
Okay.
Anyways, but I'm just saying people are really nice. We should be so proud of our citizens of Lake Forest. Dino Days, awesome. It was, we just had too many people. Also, I invited all the California commissioners because we won that award. And some couldn't come, and they want to know when is it next year. Do we have a date for next year? Because they're going to put it on their calendar.
June.
All right, I'll tell them June. But I just thought that was they're like, we want to know for next year. I'm like, okay. And I went to the senior clubhouse today, and I met a brand new senior to the clubhouse, and she complimented us on our special needs dance. She had a niece that attended, and it was really good. And she was wondering if we offered bridge, and I said I didn't know. No, but maybe that's something, maybe. Yeah. Well, maybe so. Maybe you got another new core little group starting up there. Were we ever going to do Shakespeare in the Park? And we talked about it briefly last year.
I tried. So last year what happened was the Majestica Playhouse approached us in about May. Yeah, and I couldn't get a park, the ones that they wanted for the summer. I called them as early as February. I called them about 3 times, and then I just gave up. I didn't hear anything. So, yeah, I would love to do it it would have to be next year, but I would like to do
Yeah.
it.
Well, I know I was looking up online, there's a lot of cities that have like Shakespeare by the Sea, and then they have Shakespeare at the Park. And I went, oh, we haven't done ours yet. So maybe there's hope out there. But, there are other companies that do that. I was on the internet, and I noticed there was something about Pups at Pittsford Park, some kind of a fundraiser.
It's a rescue.
It's a rescue thing? Okay, because when I...
Yeah, Little Red
Oh,
Dog
okay,
Rescue.
all right, so that's...
A special event that's not through the city. They did a special event permit.
Okay,
They did
okay,
this
all right.
last year as well, and it's a mini version of what the Orange County
Okay.
supervisors had done. It's at
Okay.
Pittsford Park. I think it's on Sunday.
I think it's Saturday or Sunday, one of the
Okay.
It's
two
on
weekends.
Sunday.
All right. Well, I just
yeah.
saw that. And I just thought, oh, I hope somebody knows about it.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay,
we
good,
definitely
good,
know
good.
about it. Yes.
Well, you never know.
No, it's true. There are rogue groups out there, so yeah, we do. know
Okay,
about it.
well, that's good. And then I noticed they removed the fencing. Is it at Whispering Hills area? Oh, what's the one over there?
Whispering Hills.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the green up plan that the council authorized, and so
green up plan.
it's not greening everything or planting everything. It's basically mostly concentrated along the frontage there.
Okay.
There's going to be a fence with some trees and then some nice smaller kind of shrubs in front.
Oh, okay.
This is until we have a chance to study the site with the consultant and make a recommendation to the commission and then the council on what to do with it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I just saw activity and I thought, I got to ask about it. All right, and that is it. It's going to be a busy summer, and I'll try to get to as much as I can. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Workmeister.
Sir. Okay. Wow. That's kind of embarrassing. See, I'm gone a week and I break stuff. First off, apologize for missing last meeting, but it was a good experience. And to Victor's point, it was very nice. I was out with a lot of young soldiers, and just seeing what they're doing, and I think it's a great thing. If we can do anything to help them, I'm all for it. So we'll definitely do that. I had the pleasure of going to the dog park quite a bit lately, just because we were selling our house, and so we had to get all the pups out of the house, and so we took more of the dog park quite a bit. I have to say, it's running very smoothly over there. I don't know if you guys are having any issues. It's not overcrowded. Parking's not an issue, and there's plenty of dogs. And a lot of folks know each other. There's a lot of kind of locals, but it seemed to be going really well. So it's nice to see, and I think having the one in Portola, I think it'll go well. So I did want to ask, and I might be out of touch. Village Pond Park. Do we have any updates on Village Pond Park?
Yes.
Okay. Can we talk about them? If we're not,
Yeah, no, I will certainly disclose what I can. I think everyone's aware that there was a lawsuit. The Lake One HOA has initiated some legal action against the city, and that stopped everything, not just the Village Pond Park project, but other issues with them. And a positive step is that I think everybody, for now, has agreed to try to resolve this without attorneys getting involved. So that's good. I hope it lasts, and I think that we'll know more probably between now and about just after the July 4th parade. So we should know a little more information.
Okay.
That's the direction it's headed in, though.
Okay, that's great. I
Thank
just
you.
haven't heard anything, and so I just wanted to make sure, because I know that's been, yes, okay. And as I was talking to Scott on the way in, good gracious, Dino Days was crowded, and I don't know if we want to think about going 2 weekends next year. I think it'll still be just crowded, and Laura's just shaking her head at me, no, so.
We had a few different discussions as far as what we want to do and adjust next year, and we'll probably do a pre-sale so that we have all those ticket sales out of the way. We already know what to expect. This year was completely unexpected as far as the numbers were concerned. And besides the pre-sale, we'll probably do like time slots.
Right, sort of like Snowfest.
No.
Yeah.
But I still think we'll get people just showing up and trying to buy tickets, and
If we advertise the pre-sale ahead of time, then we can automatically close
Okay,
that sale.
okay. It's great to see. I mean, it's like Snowfest. It's a zoo and Bunny Blast. I mean, it's so. I mean, honestly, you guys are doing a great job. And so, you always think, is there anything else we could do? And I'm not sure that there is, because it's quite a burden, I would suspect, to put it all together. So. Yep. So, but great job. I mean, it was was it Nick that ran it this year? Mm-hmm. So good for him for jumping in there. So I think he should be commended with all this. And the question, of course, is with him moving on, how are things going at the skate park since he's...
They're going very well. Scott Stewart, who has been at the skate park as long as Nick has been there, is our interim supervisor. He's doing a great job. Always so pleasantly surprised and pleased that the amount of creativity that still comes out of the staff that's worked here for 10, 12 years, it's still there. And Scott has already instituted some new ideas in the, month? He's been there, so it's going very well. Thank you.
That's great. And maybe, just like we have the ACT guys come, it would be nice if maybe like every so often we'd get, say, someone from the skate park or someone from the different groups, and because not just to get the reports, we can certainly get it from y'all, but I think to kind of acknowledge their efforts, and I think that would be kind of a nice thing if that's feasible, right? And
it is. Actually, those are scheduled, I think, to begin in September.
Okay.
We wanted to push them off until the end of summer because everyone is so busy with summer.
Right, and
but
I
you
know
will
there's
certainly
a ton
need
of
them.
events, but
Yeah.
certainly all these guys are doing a great job. I know we've talked about this before, so good. Okay, and that's all I have tonight. But thank you, and great job.
Okay. Where do you start with this? The last few weeks especially. I think for Laura and Nick especially, baptism under fire would be an inappropriate title. It doesn't even do justice to what they walked into, the wall of fire. And I can say they survived without a mark on them. So, hey, thank you. Congratulations. I don't think there'll be a challenge coming up that probably will be more daunting than this past week to 10 days. And, knowing what really goes in behind it, it's not just showing up to open the doors or move the table that's blocking the entrance, but the whole week before of 12 to 14-hour days. And just touching on the dyno days for both days and for kind of the duration, and phenomenal event. Unexpected, the crowd, but there's lots of ways to deal with it, in the future that I know the staff's already got a ton of ideas. The interesting thing, combining that with seeing the sellout and the 70% number with our summer recreation programs, okay? Then add to that what we have been experiencing with Snowfest over the past few years, and now over the past two probably with Bunny Blast. We are in the big leagues. Everything we are doing, and sure, technology helps and pre-sales help and things like that, but bottom line is if the quality of events wasn't what they are, you wouldn't have the crowds you have. And the other thing I think personally is the crowds that come from other places to come here. And I think the Dyno Day is one of the demographics of those that showed up was very obvious. There were many people from neighboring communities, especially the Irvine area, and which is, again, not bad. I mean, we want them to come, and I know I had a very brief discussion with Scott, which I'll later just put in an email just because I kind of believe strongly in it. There's always that, do we charge a resident and a non-resident, okay? My feeling is probably, I call it old school, it's different than a lot of people. I think you give the residents the first choice. You have a week, and then it's open registration. It's like we do with just about all of our programs. And the reason I don't believe in charging non-residents more is because what we are involved with is something that goes more than just running a park or an event or a facility. It deals with quality of life in Lake Forest. And it deals with people making, hopefully, some life decisions on where they want to live, especially if they have families. We've got 5,000 homes. They're not all sold yet or selling. They're selling, but not like, they're not cheap and like hotcakes. So all of this can attract people to our city, maybe to make decisions to live here, to spend money here, especially even on the day that they come, which in turn brings in, the money to the city in a different way, as opposed to kind of almost alienating them while they are not maybe citizens. They may have to stand in line till the citizens get their first pick, but after that, it should be open. It's just open to everybody. And I'm sure if it comes to fees, we'll debate that and we can make some more points on it. But I think that it's a great thing that we can really look to the extent of, number one, the acceptance of programs, number two, the revenue recovery, which if you're saying you were nervous with 550 and you're at 750, that's a 50% increase over the nervous state. So I think, and to kind of dovetail on what Victor said, yeah, it goes in the general fund, but I think when it comes to the budget process, even before we have the the new Civic Center, which will be a catalyst, I'm not going to deny that, but I think the department has, I'm going to use the word, the right to ask for more based on what it contributes to the city. I mean, we're exceeding, forecasts. Maybe some other departments need to be looked at, maybe with a little bit more scrutiny, maybe with a little bit more bottom line observation. And that's how businesses are run. The city still is a business. But I don't think we should be ashamed of having the right to ask for more, which in turn can hopefully help expand some of these programs because of staff needs and the time, which is money as well, that this is just basically, great justification for what is just, it's an absolute marvelous job. It really is, and I know other cities, they do some nice things, but the consistency of what Lake Forest is doing, I think that's really key. And I had, it was a small number, but they were all people from out of town that I talked to at Dino Days, and their comments were, the reason we come here is because of the quality of your programs. And a lot of them have lookalikes. Rancho does a snow fest, which it's about a 17-foot slope, and they don't have anything better. But, they mimicked it and try to do it, and they don't have programs like Dino Days, and the Bunny Blast is their thing is at Central Park, very kind of infantile, and same with a lot of the other programs. But anyway, great job, and no more to come. I went to the Senior Summit. That was an interesting thing in Laguna Woods, and the one thing where we talk about seniors not wanting to be recognized as seniors and not wanting to use that word. And I haven't been in the community of Laguna Woods in years, inside the community, but I think they do a marvelous job of getting people old and making them feel like they're old and things like that. And I think a lot of people were there. I mean, some of the programming was good, but most people, I think, were there for the free yogurt and the what do you call them, tchotchkes, the giveaway. Good speakers, good information, but I think the audience and it, they had a lot of people though. I mean, it was like, whoa, huge, but worthwhile going to see it. Like Loretta went to Sports Park Open House. During the time I was there, the jazz ensemble was more in the practice mode than the play mode, getting it together. But it still was a nice day, small event, but good event, and I think we'll take in point to do it before, because that'll inspire people like on the spot to, to do the registration. But again, if it's sold out, it tells people you got to come earlier. You got to come early. You got to pay attention to what's coming out and jump on the ball. It was kind of a combination city chamber social event. I do know Joe cursorily Moscatello, so I went to the Pepino's ribbon cutting, which was a large party in itself. Luckily, I had some other commitments, because the vino was flowing. I mean, but again, a nice event, and our chamber does really a nice job. On a sidelight, I missed the senior thing. It was the same day as our summer family day for the Marine Battalion, which went like dynamite, and great time there. And so we'll make up for it at the next senior thing by bringing twice as many or whatever. Also went to the Boys and Girls Club fundraiser, which was very well done. Raised $25,000 as a result of the evening. Kind of a small crowd, really, for all of the advertising that they did. It's, I think, a very worthwhile cause. And there was one council member there, one planning commission member there, and myself from our group. And some of the other people who were pretty regular in supporting items related to the city, and quite a number of people from the Laguna Beach that they're involved with or teamed up with at the present time. But again, a very nice event, and I think maybe there's some things down the road we can do with them using our facilities, the parks and things, to help them maybe promote some of what they're doing. And I mean, they're looking out for kids from Lake Forest. I don't think that's a cause that anybody could be kind of opposed to. Like, we shouldn't do that or whatever. I was trying to read notes here. Again, appreciate the ACT group, their constant involvement, and frankly, I think we should try to use them more and make them an integral part. I have a friend. He is a fairly tenured Parks and Recs commissioner in San Juan Capistrano, and they actually have what they call a teen commission. It's kind of like our senior advisory board, but for teens, and the meetings are a little bit more formalized, a little bit more structure to it, but they make some very interesting and meaningful contributions as well from a volunteer standpoint and ideas, and they are developing an internal scholarship program, which is always something that gets attention, and people don't mind being involved with or contributing if they know, it goes for a cause. And maybe that's something we can, pursue as well. It really doesn't cost a lot to fund it or to do whatever, and it's a great opportunity for the kids to get into, leadership and maybe even a career from a recreation standpoint, that they can, see what it does. Comment about camps. A couple of comments were made, and I think our camps are super. I personally, again, one man's opinion, one man in the crowd here, that the ideal site to do camps in the traditional camping sense is a nature park. It just lends itself to it. The flora and fauna and the night, it's like going to a campground as opposed to, let's say, doing it at the sports park, and we camp out on artificial field. We couldn't stick the poles in the ground, and we put bricks down, whatever. It just has that kind of aura to it that, and our camps aren't, I think, of the size, hundreds of people, where they, would be crowded and overdone. So maybe something to consider, maybe something, not to consider, but I think, again, another idea. Last but not least, to dovetail on the comments about the military veterans program, because that is something that is in a lot of different ways near and dear to my heart as well. And I want to just share some ideas on it that may be in some way, shape, or form like a wet blanket to doing it. to do it to the degree that it deserves. I'll use that word, because if you're going to do it, you should do it 100%, 110%. The cost of doing it to the city would be fairly substantial, and I don't know if I would be pro or con. I really don't today have an opinion, just listening to the idea of taking money that otherwise is intended for the general citizenry of Lake Forest, which they are part of too, not knocking that, but it's a very small versus the greater good, the families, the masses of children, etc. If we had the unlimited funds, I'd be ahead of him in line to try to do it. The other thing from experience of trying to get, with what we do with the Marines and talking to other people as well, to trying to get the veterans involved. You can go and pull teeth, you can give root canals easier without giving the patient an anesthesia. Because the veteran organizations and the veterans in their own, any given organization are almost totally fragmented. And they really don't adopt an identity with the community. I'll give you a good example. Marine Corps has a group that is I can't remember the full title, but they all come from Marines who served at the Marine Corps Air Station in El Toro from Vietnam till closure. Okay, so that's 33 years. And their chapter title is something El Toro. They still have El Toro. They meet in Garden Grove, okay, because they haven't made the effort to honestly find a meeting place in Lake Forest. But the reason they also meet in Garden Grove is they meet at, it's a VFW, I think, it's either an American Legion, which has a bar in it. Okay? All right? So, again, and they somehow, and they get maybe a dozen people together, and the chapter is like 30 or 40, typically a dozen, and they will rehash some stuff. I've been to a group that is the local chapter of the, it's not veterans, it's an officers group. They're all officers that are in it. Their membership is like 45. The average they get involved is maybe a dozen at best. So it's very hard to pin them down. When we, 2 years ago, I think now, tried to get somebody to come and accept when they had the Purple Heart Award that was given out, and the city clerk's office called me and asked me if I could possibly help because we were getting down to the last week and didn't have a recipient, and et cetera. I can't tell you the number of hours I put in and the number of organizations. I mean, there's tons of websites of organizations that you call the local leadership, they don't call back. Or while we're in Sherman Oaks, and yeah, we stretch through Orange County, but we wouldn't really even know who to call and things like that. So I think we maybe should look at it, and then you have, are you going to do stuff with disabled or non-disabled? That's another decision that you have to look at, because the needs are 100% different. Your disabled vets, there are some very, very good programs that are in place, the whole Wounded Warrior program, for one, and maybe to provide, because again, some of these vets don't even, for some reason, they don't even know where or what is, like has been talked about with the special needs group, a kind of a directory of services that exist, that if we run into these people and we find out they have needs and things, where to refer them. It's not the brightest out there, especially with the VA and things like that, but there are still programs. At least we can give them an avenue to look. I would be happy to help participate in putting together some of that material, but I think at this time at least, ally with somebody. I don't know this organization per se, but typically what most of them do in hooking up with call it either the government or a large corporation, they are really looking for that corporation or the municipality or the county or whatever to be the funding source. Because there's so much out there that the dollars are spread very, very thin to do that. So again, it's just a different take. I think it's a great idea. I think we should try to be of help, but I don't think it's the most feasible thing for a city, and then you wind up with all this other, government is not supposed to be involved with this, and they have a real interesting, the military has a very interesting view of, call it government involvement in military affairs, to the point where they don't even talk about it. It's like, you want your career to end, talk about it. You might as well just say, okay, end of my tour, I'm out, because especially for an officer, it's like a death knell. But again, just some long commentary on an issue that I don't know, but it's something that, number one, I feel passionate about. Number two, I don't mind spending the time on it because I think that's part of our job. And number three, I think we serve at the best interest of the people, that are out there, and our decision should be, and advice should be towards the direction that can, give the most for the best. So I will conclude my comments at that point, and I'll move for adjournment. Okay, we're adjourned.